Hello everyone. So today, I didn't even know if I'd get around to this season because sometimes that's just the way it is. The seasons are fleeting and life happens, right? So I wasn't even sure that I would have the beautiful opportunity and honor to harvest some elderberry this season, but I did. And so I'm very excited because I made a big video last year, which will be attached to this, on preparing elderberry syrup and elderberry tincture and talking about all the medicinal properties and the folklore and the magic and actually being out in the garden, in the field, harvesting. And that was actually my first time making elderberry remedies. So now, that was in 2021. And so now we're 1 year later, and I had the opportunity to work with this beautiful medicine over the course of the last year. I shared a lot of it with friends and family and can now speak to a couple of the questions that I had last year. So let's see. One question last year was, this is Sambucus cerulea, the blue elder, which is what we mostly have here in British Columbia. I'm in the southern interior of BC, and yeah, this is pretty much the only elder we have growing wild. And in comparison to the black elder, the Sambucus nigra, it said that the seeds, like the fresh berries and the seeds, can cause stomach upset. So I experimented last year with making a tincture of the fresh berries, which I was 99% sure would be perfectly fine. And it was. So woohoo, we can make beautiful fresh blue elderberry tincture by just pouring the 100 proof vodka over the fresh berries, which I am going to do this season because we pretty much went through all the tincture. And on that note, the tincture and the honey were actually by far the easiest to prepare and my favorite to use compared to the syrup. So you'll see in the video there, we were questioning the amount of sugar that was going into the recipe because it's a lot, and I didn't even have enough sugar. So we ended up cutting the sugar in the syrup we made, and that was a bit of an experiment. And now I can update you that much sugar is for a reason, because it helps to preserve the syrup. So I can't remember how long after I had made it, maybe a couple months, 2 to 3 months, my syrup started to mold in the fridge. So that was a bummer, but I did salvage it. I just scraped off, there was just a little bit growing on the top, and I scraped that off. I think I even strained it, and then I froze it in ice cubes, in an ice cube tray, which actually worked wonderfully. So if you do have the freezer space, well, you know what? It actually didn't work that wonderfully because the sugar content, even though we didn't put enough sugar in, prevented it from freezing. That's right. So I actually had to dilute the syrup with water so that I could freeze it. Well, we also had a very poor functioning freezer at the time, so maybe that wouldn't be so much of an issue with a fully functioning freezer. But anyways, lots of learning, lots of lessons learned. So I always say I'm a lazy herbalist, and I like simple remedies. And in my experience, I won't be making the syrup again. Yes, it was tasty. We enjoyed it diluted in like a fizzy water, but it was just so much work, and then it molded. So, compared to the tincture or the honey, where you literally just pour vodka or honey over top of the fresh berries, so simple. And the really neat thing about the honey is, the consistency did change. Like, it got more liquidy, but the honey did an incredible job of preserving. And in fact, I still have some of the honey in my fridge, and it I'd say it started fermenting slightly, but I didn't get any mold. So that was pretty cool. And I will definitely be splitting these berries that I have into a tincture as well as a honey. And yeah, it's just been really wonderful to work with this remedy over the year, you know, especially with, you know, the new viruses we're dealing with these days. Just wonderful to know that I have this beautiful ally to help, you know, nourish the immunity of me and my family, but also to help out when we do get sick as well, to shorten the length of time of symptoms. So I really hope you enjoy this video. Something else I will note is last year I harvested at the end of August. This year, like I said, I didn't even know if I was going to get around to doing it. Just life has been so full. It's the beginning of October and there are still berries ripening. There are some that are already ripe. There are even some that are still ripening. So it's not too late to go out and see if you can find some elder in your backyard. Green blessings.